Sometimes when I run and I run and I run, my body has a way of kind of shutting me down. And it starts with my voice getting hoarse. And now it's moving to my nose, which leads me to believe that there might be a cold trying to come at the same time, or that just slow it on down. So today, what we're going to do actually is talk about resilience, growing up, growing over, and growing beyond. And I'm calling it, I'm going to talk this metaphor around the phoenix rising. And I just want to say hey to everybody who is here. In case this is your first time hearing me, I am Lolita E. Walker. I usually am not this hoarse, but I'm excited to still be with you all and give a little bit of energy to you this morning as you think about the phoenix rising. When we think about the phoenix rising, I want to talk about this notion of resilience, again, growing up, growing over, and growing beyond. So I thought about the metaphor of a phoenix to weave into the discussions this morning, because the phoenix, in my estimation, really emphasizes how resilience enables our personal growth, our professional growth, our adaptability, our capacity to thrive, even in our most intense trials, tribulations, and even the times when we have to sit down and pause and think about recommitting to ourselves, the questioning, the curiosity, all of the things that I heard inside of some discussions that were happening this morning. And so with that, I hope that those of you all who are here and enjoying a little bit of coaching cocktails and conversations with me, either on Facebook, coaching cocktails and conversations, LinkedIn, YouTube, Clubhouse, or any of the other platforms that you might be listening into, hopefully you'll join in. Good morning, Jackie on Facebook. And hey, Soul, so good to always hear from you as well. So let's jump in, because we have a power half an hour, and we want to get the most out of everything. I love to tell people that we want to leverage the power of your voice, whatever that looks like. That could be just typing in into any of the platforms. It could be actually coming off mic for the live audience, or it could just mean sending me a message later. But your voice can come in so many different ways. It can also come with you writing some of the soul work that we'll talk about today. So how you engage is totally up to you, but the notion of you being right here is a cause for celebration. So I want to go ahead and give a cheers to who it is that you are. The phoenix. Why did I choose the phoenix this morning to talk about growth, to talk about resilience, to talk about overall transformation? Again, we're talking about growing up, growing over, and growing beyond. So if you know anything about the phoenix, or if you've even seen a picture, what you know is that it's a mythical bird, right? The phoenix is this mythical bird, and it regenerates, it's reborn from its own ashes. That's the big deal. And so what happens is when a phoenix reaches the end of its life, then it bursts into these flames and then it's consumed by fire. But it's from the ashes, from that fire, that the phoenix then emerges anew. It emerges stronger, it emerges vibrant, it emerges even stronger than ever before. And the beauty of that is that symbolization really is about this transformation. And what I'm going to talk about is this ability to rise above adversity. Can you imagine just blowing up in flames and then coming back anew and resurfacing? What if the spirit of our life, our personal, our professional, our work life, our home life, everything we're thinking about, everything we're doing, we had an opportunity to really grow up, grow over, grow beyond as related to coming back and refreshing and being renewed? What would you do? Imagine life's challenges as the flames, okay? Imagine how it consumes us. Imagine the setbacks, the failures, the hardships that we encounter throughout life. Imagine the trials, the tribulation. And what if resilience itself, which is the topic for today, what if that was our inside phoenix? What if that was our inner phoenix, the phoenix that is already within us, and that force that then allows us to rise from the ashes? We're being transformed and we're being renewed. So what if we think about ourselves in our inner phoenix, right? There's a phoenix that's inside of us that's waiting to be reformed. But what if that resilience is our inner phoenix? So I want you to picture it. I want you to imagine it. I want you to imagine the beauty that is in a phoenix being reborn, in the essence that it displays. What if that is coming out of you because you have chosen because you have chosen to be renewed inside of this space, inside of this town. So, time. So, just like the phoenix, we can emerge from adversity with a newfound strength and wisdom. And it doesn't mean what happened yesterday. It means that we can start renewed today. It means that we write our own story today. It means that we've been through the trials, we've been through the fire, and today we are standing right here. Yesterday, somebody called me and we were talking, and she said to me, she asked me a question on why I was so committed to this one aspect of my life, right? And as I was talking to her, I was thinking about there were setbacks, or there have been setbacks where I had to pause and really be curious about if I'm putting more into this space than I'm putting into my own life, into aspects of my life that are also priorities. And so as I'm doing that, I'm pausing and I'm thinking, and I want us to realize that as a phoenix, we can be renewed today. And sometimes it's not what we've come from in that place that is going to be with us. Remember, sometimes I tell you all, we're going to leave what doesn't fit us right here at the bus stop. We will, because we will be resilient. And here's the beauty of it. We've been resilient before. My pastor said the other week is what did he say? He said, here's the thing is that when you go into the battle, you got to already know that it's won. In this battle, it might feel like you're lonely and you're on a track by yourself, but the beauty is that there's somebody in the world who's been through it before. And the reality is that you've been through trials and tribulations. You've already been the phoenix that's been renewed in so many other aspects of your life. And so this trial will be no different. This trial will be no different. I want you to know that on the other side of this is your renewed comeback. So through coaching, through self-reflection, through perseverance, we too can harness the inner phoenix that is within us that'll help us to soar beyond the limitations that we have. Hopefully, if you've listened to me before through coaching cocktails and conversations, no matter what platform that we're on, you've been able to write down whether it's a metaphor, I'm taking you through some soul work, or I'm having you draw something out or link something together, or think about an umbrella. So many different things we've done together. But today, I want you to think about this notion of this phoenix. I want you to think about, remember what I said is imagine the challenges of life, whatever it is that you might be going through, being the flames themselves, but the inner you, the inner phoenix, the inner inside of you is going to be able to emerge no differently than ever before, but this time even bigger, better, bolder. This time even more stronger than before. So when we talk about this notion of growing up, growing over, and growing beyond, I want to talk to you a little bit about that. So growing up, what if growing up upward, vertically upward toward the sun is going from ashes to flight? I told you that the phoenix is reborn, re-energized, renewed from ashes. And so what if growing upward is from ashes to flight? So just like the phoenix, individuals, each and every one of us might experience moments of burning adversity. So burning the challenges, the setbacks, the trials, the tribulations to reshape our character. Somebody might be listening and saying, my character can't be reshaped. Well, I challenge can't for anything. But what I will say is, what if you go with me on this journey? What'd you say? Oh, I don't know. I, oh, good. Well, I hope you got with me for growing upward from ashes to flight. What if I start right there? Did you hear when I was saying that growing upwards is like burning? Hmm. Oh, good. Well, you didn't miss that much then. No worries. Thank you so much. And so what I was saying is that growing upwards is, imagine that being burning the adversity or the challenges or the not the triumphs. We want the triumphs, but burning all of the things and then shaping the character of who it is that you are when you're flowing back in. And then growing up also involves facing these flames head on, right? The phoenix is not afraid of the flames. The flame, sometimes we have to walk into it head on and then allow ourselves to be consumed by to blow up these flames that are consuming us based on old beliefs that we had, or limiting feelings, or self-talk that might not be as positive. I got a call from one of my son's teachers the other day. And I haven't used this analogy with him or this metaphor with him, so I will now that I'm thinking about it, is about the phoenix. And one of the things she said to me is that Walker, my son, has these limiting beliefs that he says out loud, this talk sometimes that he says out loud about himself. And so now that I'm really thinking about it, and as I'm talking to you all about these insecurities and doubts and fears that hold us back, just as the phoenix turns to ashes, sometimes we can shed ourselves of our old selves. Sometimes we can shed ourselves. Snakes shed themselves too. But what if you think about shedding yourself of the old you and then renewing yourself, because it already exists within you? Sometimes we have to be reminded of the greatness of who it is that we are so that we can come back renewed. Sometimes we have to make hard decisions to walk away from things because it's consuming us, because it's not fun anymore. The same person I was talking to you all about that I was talking to this week, she said, I answered her, I said, you know what? Sometimes if it's not fun anymore, then I just chalk it up to, this isn't for me right now. I've given my all. I've made an impact. I've been able to garner so much from others, but it's not fun anymore. And if I left tomorrow, I don't want to be miserable. I don't want it to feel like work. I want it to be fun. I want to be able to see that the outlook in that what I'm doing right now is going to help me in some kind of way. I want to have fun with the people around me. I want them to know that they can rise too, as the phoenix. I want to make sure that they're pushing me the same way as I'm pushing them. Right? All of these things. Who is it that's around me in the community? Because if it doesn't feel fun anymore, if I can't see the fun on the other side, if I can't go through this trial right now and know that at the end of this thing, I'm going to rise higher and bigger and better and bolder, then what am I doing? I want you to know that your inner phoenix is here to rise. So what is it that you're doing that might be consuming you, that you might need to be reborn from? And so that's growing up. Think ashes to flight. We're about to fly. We're shedding these things so that we can get a little bit lighter and fly. The next about growing over, I'd love for you to think about rebirth and renewal. It's from those very ashes, right? It's from those very ashes that we're talking about that the phoenix emerges anew. Like its wings come out and then it takes that flight. If you've ever seen a picture, if you've never seen a picture, then just Google images of a phoenix rising. It's actually beautiful. And what if you can imagine that phoenix being the inner you, the new you, the renewed you? Oh my goodness, what needs to be true to be left in the ashes that you're leaving right there? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I can't wait to even write this down myself. I had drawn my version of a phoenix rising, but I need to then write down, what am I leaving right there in the ashes? Because I'm getting lighter. I'm flowing a little bit differently. I'm going to fly. I'm renewed. And when you know that, you trust that and believe that, then guess what? You're about to soar. And hopefully your Phoenix family is about to soar with you. And if not, that's okay. You're renewed anyway. Sometimes I crack myself up, you guys. All right. So we talked about growing up. We talked about growing over, and now I want to talk to you about growing beyond. But just before I do that, when this notion of growing over, sometimes I talk to you all about going over or soaring over obstacles. And sometimes we put so much energy in how we're going to hurdle this task, how we're going to hurdle this situation inside of our lives, how we're going to hurdle how somebody's looking at us or somebody's judging us, how we're going to hurdle this next thing, how we're going to hurdle this next accomplishment that we want in our lives that we're putting way too much pressure on ourselves for. But sometimes you can walk right through the door. Sometimes the door might be hidden, but sometimes we already have the key right in our pocket. So this notion of growing over can sometimes means growing through. Sometimes it's work smarter, not harder. And because we're rising anew with all of the strengths that we already possess, then sometimes we leverage those strengths that we might have even learned from somebody else's toolkit and we'll walk ourselves right through. It's so amazing. And when that happens to us, you too should be amazed and then leverage that to know that as a beautiful phoenix, you too are going to soar. You too are going to soar. I love that. All right. So now we're growing beyond because we're super excited. We have these strategies to grow upward. Remember, we talked about growing upward from ashes to flight. And then remember, we talked about growing over, which is rebirth to renewal. And now we're talking about growing beyond. New heights, new heights. We're already soaring, but now we're soaring to new heights. We're taking it up another echelon. We're going beyond the clouds that we were yesterday. We're going beyond that because there's new and endless possibilities are on the other side of that, period. Imagine being this phoenix and this mythical bird that can travel the land because you can. And imagine having a bird eyes view on what's happening in the world and being able to choose where you are going to land next. Imagine the ashes that you've left and which you no longer have with you. Imagine the new and endless possibilities that are on the other side. So wherever it is that you can see yourself in your future, you imagine yourself planning yourself there and then learning and growing the new renewed you. Imagine picking up a new book. Imagine learning something different. Imagine reminding yourself about what used to make you smile all the time and actually getting around a community that helps you do that. Imagine somebody calling you and saying, oh my gosh, you changed my life. Doesn't that feel good? A number of us have been in situations where somebody has called and said, that thing you said 2 weeks ago, oh my gosh, I didn't even recognize I needed it, but I needed it. Imagine if now, because you've soared to new heights, that you have the opportunity to call and thank someone else for what it is that they've shown you because you've opened yourself up to endless possibilities. So the phoenix doesn't merely return to its previous state of who it was before. It transcends, it soars, it's unafraid of the flames. We talked about that before. It is unafraid of the flames that are right there. When we as individuals choose to grow beyond the adversity that is around us, then we embrace the scars in the banter, the badges of what happened in our prior life. I say prior life because it's the phoenix, but it could have just been yesterday, right? It could have just been last week. For those of you all watching me on any platform, I moved my camera and then behind me, I saw my book and I was like, hey, I didn't realize that was on the table. But as I'm looking at that, I think about some of the poetry that I write and how for me, it feels like it transcends me inside of the moment. I want you to think about what brings you this sense of peace. It's in this sense of peace that you will think about what is you're going to leave in the ashes, right? What might you need to put on pause? And I'm talking to me too. I'm doing so many things, hence why my voice is hoarse right now. But I'm doing so many things and running, doing all of these things. And so writing is a pause for me. Poetry, writing is a pause for me. And so when am I going to incorporate that back? Can I do some this weekend? I'm going to commit to writing something this weekend. But here's the thing is that when you know that it's time for you to rise, sometimes you know, like it's time for my inner phoenix to rise. Sometimes you know, somebody's sitting here and they're listening into me today, whether it's live or on the replay, you're listening in and you can feel the inner phoenix. You can feel your inner phoenix bubbling up inside and ready to soar. Let it free. It's so amazing. We can use our own experiences to fuel your inner phoenix flying, like whether it's your career, your relationships, your personal development, your professional development, we can leverage that. And so the cycle of resilience, not resistance, Lord. Don't resist the resilience, but the cycle of this resilience is just rising again and again and again. Your inner phoenix, there's a number of phoenixes inside of you, like they're being reborn every day. They're being regenerated every day. And this one here is regenerating. It's ready. When you're ready to release, then you're going to soar too. Sometimes we're holding ourselves down. Sometimes the shackles are self-made. Sometimes we're holding ourselves down in the minutia. I'm working on something right now, and I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said, you know what, Lolita, you're so into this, but what if you just let it go right now? Just let it go. You've already known what the impact is, and you shared that thing. And I had to think about that. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. So what if you're holding on to something so much that the impact is already there? The impact statement is already there. Somebody else is already telling you that, oh my gosh, I feel this. Your footprint is already there. And so now it's time for you to soar to new opportunities, to new communities. This bird eye view is for you. Take it and move. Take it and shift. Remember, the phoenix doesn't fear the flames. Don't fear what's going to be in front of you because of the obstacles. That's what I want to let you guys know. That's what I want to round out with you all today is don't fear the flames. It transforms, right? These flames turn to ashes, and the ashes are what transforms you. The ashes are what transcends you. The ashes themselves are the source of your power. What are you leaving there? So likewise, our challenges can be the catalyst for our growth. That's exactly it. They can be the catalyst for our growth. So we're going to rise like the phoenix. We're going to embrace our inner fire. We are going to emerge stronger, wiser, bigger, better, bolder, more vibrant than ever before. We're going to choose where it is that we go because we have a bird's eye view and we're having fun inside of this thing at the same time. So I'm going to pause and I want to see if there's anything anyone wants to add from anything that they've heard today. Renee Hayes said, Lolita, when I start feeling like that, I drink. Oh, that's about my voice. She drinks some emergency and she always feels a little better afterwards. I got to make sure I get that. Thank you so much. You know what? My go-to for everything, because I don't take medicine, although vitamin C is always good, is Theraflu. That's my go-to for all things. It used to be wonton soup when I ate pork. I feel like that cures everything. But now I don't eat pork. Oh, you didn't want to hear about my vitamin C? I'm just joking. Hey, Stacy, good morning.
Conversations that's taking place this morning. And one thing that really just resonates with me is that you when you said rise up, and so I was thinking for large portions of my life, there was a time when I would only rise up to the place that I was before. I never would go beyond. When challenges and pain and trauma would happen, that would knock me on my back or pound me back down to my knees. Only after I'm able to breathe again and the pain is not so severe, I would only get back up to the place where I was knocked down before. And so resilience for me, it was never the going beyond part. The resilience for me was just the bounce back, right? And so it was this reactive state. It was resilience was always very reactive, never proactive. But it was only until maybe a couple of years ago that when I really understood that I deserved, when I really understood that I mattered, when I really understood that I'm worth this great treatment, it was only then that I started and that I learned how I wanted to be communicated to. I don't want to be dropped off. I don't want you to speak to me any type of way you deem necessary. I don't want to keep giving, and there's no reciprocity. And when I determined how I wanted to be communicated to, resilience stopped being a reactive word and it became proactive for me. So when we talk about resilience, we talk about it's how we recover from trauma or recover from pain. But for me now, because I know how I want to be communicated to, it's not that I recover from something it is me being proactive, and I recover myself with affirmations every day so that I can move through the day in a positive manner. I recover myself. I remind myself that I'm worth it. So it becomes proactive. I take deliberate steps to go through my day. I take deliberate steps to make sure that I have the right mindset. I talk to myself every day, and I tell myself. And as I know, as I continue to know, I continue to grow. And I don't, and much like the Phoenix, I don't use resilience as this bounce back thing. I use this resilience as this spring inside of me, and as this knower to keep reminding me that this is how you want to be communicated to, and this is how, and because I know how I want to be communicated to, I can move beyond everything that happens. So I'm Stacey, and I'm done talking.
Oh my gosh, Dr. Luckett, mic drop moments. Listen, I heard a number of things in there that just made me so excited, because this notion of resilience not being reactive, this notion of doing self-reflection and then recognizing and realizing that I'm covered in affirmation, but it came from a point of recognizing that I know how I want to be communicated to. I recognize my worth, this discovery, right? And now leveraging this Phoenix inside of you. Resilience is not just reactionary. And when you know that, then you can look at this Phoenix, this inner you, and you can be like, guess what? Because I know these things, I'm already growing up, right? My flight is taking hold. I'm already growing over, and I'm already growing beyond, because it's proactive. It's a way of life. It's my expectation of how others treat me. It's my expectations of how I treat others. It's my expectation of how I live and soar in this thing called life. I think that was so good. Oh.
And you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Too. In one of our sessions, I think I was talking about the guy that I was seeing, and he brought me a lot of pain. And you simply said, "How do you want to be communicated to?" And I have hung on to those words, and I've done a deep dive with how do you want to be communicated to, and it doesn't just mean words; it's actions and deeds. So I just want to, I lifted that, and that very phrasing from you, and I've taken it on.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. And the reason that's so good is because sometimes, and as I tell everybody that listens in to Coaching Cocktails and Conversations, everybody that I'm talking to, is that sometimes these conversations are right to me too. They're directly to me too. And I take these. And so now you're replaying what I shared with you, but I will ask myself is, how do you want to be communicated to? I have instances that's happening in my life as well right now. And how can I apply that? How can I grab that piece from the ashes, right? How can I grab that piece that might have been shed for me and now leverage it so that when I soar and rise anew, proactively, I'm already going and knowing, trusting, and believing and expecting how I will be communicated to. And that shift right there is so powerful. So Dr. Luckett, I thank you. Listen, everybody who listened in today, I thank you. I thank you so much. For those of you all on Facebook writing in, hello, Evelyn, good morning. To you as well, to LinkedIn and to YouTube, as well as Clubhouse. I say thank you guys. And I can't wait to chat with you again. These right here are so good. So you can head on over to lolitawalker.com. I love to engage in speaking opportunities, coaching opportunities, all of the things in order to make sure that we soar like a phoenix in every single thing that we do. And if you have any of my books, then you know that they all are uplifting to the point of challenging you to think differently. I love that. All right, guys. Thanks so much.